Hey, good luck, guys.
All right, well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to day four, which is our final session of the Business Plan Bootcamp. Hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. I truly believe this is the best one we've ever done. It's the most complete, it's the most content rich, it's the most actionable plan we've ever helped you guys put together, and over 15 years of me being involved with business plans in the company. But before we jump in, I just want to thank you guys for just showing up. The ones that showed up, to all of them, congratulations. It's just about being engaged. It's about investing in your business and your future. And you guys recognize the importance of having a plan, a direction, a course of action. And it really just it wasn't only a business planning session or training series. It was actually, I think you guys will realize at the end of this, it was a reset and a refocus and I guess a relaunch, if you will, of your business and really starting fresh, for the year ahead. So before we really get deep into this, I'd like to thank our team for putting this amazing boot camp together. I mean, I had very little to do, if anything, with it. Our team came up with this concept and created the materials. So I want to start out with a special shout out to Jessica Souther. I think she came up with this content. It was very similar to what she had introduced last year, and we just built on it. Sandra Wilkinson, our Fresno manager, Sabrina Trujillo, our marketing manager, Adam Roman, Porterville manager. We've got Ryan Johnson on today that's going to show you how and why this stuff works. Of course, my partner Mike Gutierrez opened up this series. Mitz for handling the production and behind the scenes, making sure that we stay live and people can see us and hear us. And then we had a special guest, I think Robin Albert, right, from Old Republic, came on for a day and shared her knowledge, and that was cool. And so I want you guys to give all of these people a virtual clap for putting a lot of effort into this. And I believe this is the best training boot camp for business planning that anybody out there. I don't see anybody doing it at this level and this depth. So again, congratulations, guys, for doing that. And just want to,
Mike,
yeah.
Sabrina and Angela were kind of the forefront of running it too.
Okay. Well, Angela, I'm sorry, I left
They weren't
Angela
on
off.
there,
Forgive
but
me. Forgive me, Angela.
yeah.
I knew I was going to forget somebody, and there's probably still somebody. Am I forgetting anybody
No,
else?
no, no. No. Sabrina and Angela, they kind of came up with like how we were going to do
The
it
formatting on it.
and
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, formatting
So that
everything.
that is
So
correct. They came up with this. The packet you guys got, the handbook, was a result of Sabrina and Angela putting that together and conceptualizing it. And all of our branch managers came together as a team and really, again, hit a home run and knocked it out of the park. So thank you guys very much for doing that. So I'm just going to give a quick recap before we dive in our interview with Ryan Johnson, just to kind of underscore what you guys have gone through over the past three sessions, because it was about laying a foundation piece by piece. So on day one, you basically built the core of your business plan. You went over numbers, probably more depth and detail than you ever thought you would or wanted to. Numbers aren't always exciting, but the one thing that I always say and I've always said, numbers don't lie. Profit goals, geared towards profit are very important. We have to know the metrics to know where we're going to be at and what we need to do to win. Day two,
Yeah.
you guys zoomed in, no pun intended, to at the neighborhood level, really defining your farm and getting intentional with it. And then day three, which I believe was yesterday, you learned the actual tools, campaigns, strategies to execute and market yourself effectively. So, and today we're just kind of tying it all together and how it works together. And basically, the plan is to continue to work strong and head into 2026 in a positive fashion. And so just to dig a little deeper, I mean, with day one, it was just it was something, it was about agents' thought process and what are they trying to achieve? What's the big why? And what are we trying to get to? Why are we doing this thing? Why are we taking the risk of being an entrepreneur and not going and getting the famous or infamous day job? and really, we're running a business, right? So when we run a business, we have to understand what income do we need to make to be profitable, and furthermore, what are our cost of sales? We know that gross commission check that we receive, there's a cost that goes into that, getting to that point that we have to take off that income, and then there's just our normal day-to-day operating or business expenses to stay in business. And finally, we get to that profit, or what we call in accounting and finance side, EBITDA, right? Earning before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. That's really what defines what we make. And so really you learn the difference between what GCI, or gross commission income, and then your actual commission check is, or your net income. And that really helps you guys plan accordingly on, okay, what do I really need to net at the end of this year to have a profitable overall business? So, but I like how we flip the formula. Instead of asking, how many homes do I think I can sell, or should I sell this year? We really flip the script and asked, how much profit do I want, and how many homes do I need to sell to get there? Because, 5, 10 may not do it based on your needs, your financial needs, what you're looking to accomplish. So I think that shift alone really puts you guys ahead, just changing that paradigm shift on mindset. It's just not just about a round number. Well, I want to do 10. I did 10 last year. I want to do 15. But what does that really mean? I think understanding your profit goals puts you guys ahead in the game. And that was just awesome and enlightening. And then, that day two is just knowing and owning your neighborhood. Every single one of you is licensed to sell anywhere in California, but the truth is most agents don't focus on their own neighborhood, which is embarrassing, right? It's interesting, and we're going to dig deeper on this today with Ryan. He's going to have some very good insight on it, but I mean, the first thing we should know is something about our neighborhood. Unless you guys live out in the country in Timbuktu, or in the Sierra Outback somewhere, you've got a number of homes in your neighborhood, and do you know the number? How many are there? Are there 100, 200, 300? Do you know how many sold in the last 6 months? Do you know if any of your neighbors are agents? Are they farming or marketing? Do you get their postcards and their door hangers? Which I have, and I find it annoying. I find it annoying that they're putting out market reports in my neighborhood, and I'm getting 3x5 glossy postcards, and even worse, I have to take one of their door hangers off my door. I find it incredibly annoying, but that should not be intimidating to you. Annoyance could translate into action, and that's what we're talking about yesterday and today. And it's just how many people in your neighborhood really know that you are an agent and that you're open for business. And I think just what's holding you back is the last question. We're going to go deep on that today, and just about the execution side is important. And you guys got a lot of that yesterday. What are the actionable marketing items, and how do you intend to go about being out there, and just focusing on the 4 pillars: your community presence, being more visible not only in your neighborhood but your community, at events, schools, markets, like sweet flea markets, swap meets, whatever you want to call it, remates, local fundraisers, car shows. What type of collateral do you have to promote your business, both print and direct mail, and what are you doing in that area today? I mean, are you consistent about it? Digital social media is here to stay, guys. A digital footprint is mandatory to succeed in today's market and grow, and it's the cheapest way to reach the masses. I mean, we don't have to spend a ton of money on promoting, short videos and getting posts out there on a daily basis. And then last pillar is just our personal outreach. And what are we doing? Are we door knocking our own neighborhood? Are we calling our neighbors? Are we throwing block parties? Are we out in the community doing community events? Are we hosting buyer seminars or investor seminars or client appreciation parties, which we have some agents that do an amazing job with that? And so it's really about, we have these pieces. Now we know what we need to do. All of these are actionable. It's just about doing it and moving forward. So So what I want to do now is shift over. This is, I think, the exciting part of this last day, and this is our interview with Mr. Ryan Johnson, who is a top producer and a member of our Fine Homes and Estates team in Fresno. He does own his neighborhood, by the way, and he lives in a very nice neighborhood, which I'll let him tell you about. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Ryan, and Sandra and I are going to help ask questions. And so, Ryan, why don't you just tell everybody a little more about yourself?
Yeah, very good.
In the past years I've been here, I've never seen a fly in this office, and there's a fly that's flying in my ear and Sandra's ear.
Get it?
I've never seen a fly here. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Sorry about that.
so if we're going like this, sorry.
Too crazy.
A little bit about myself. This is my 18th year in real estate full time. Married, I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I'll go into all the other stuff about me when Sandra asks me some questions. How's that?
So Ryan is a pleasure to work with. And I see him grind it out on a daily basis. He comes in, I can bet he's going to be here. And I know he is a super hard worker, so his hard work is paying off. I have no doubt he works hard. Can you tell us just a little bit about how you have tackled owning your own neighborhood?
Yeah. So my wife and I bought our first house. It's a development, a golf course community called Copper River here in Fresno. We built our first house there in 2014. Still new to the business, had been in it about 5 years. Let me go back. So on a mile square radius of our first home, average sales price is about 880,000 today. So back then I was like, how do I sell houses in this neighborhood? There's about 1,000 homes. So what I did, and I didn't do this all overnight. For one, I started social media about 5 years ago, and I do one real estate post a week. And I created actually Lucy's song. I don't know if some of you know Lucy. She's great. I was her first client about 5 years ago, and I have no hair, so I wear these caps to protect me from the sun and keep my head warm. So, and about 5 years ago, I needed glasses, right? So here I am, a bald nerd with glasses, right? No, look at Mike's laughing. So I'm like, so this hat kind of goes with the theme. So if anybody can see this, I had my business cards made, and Lucy was so awesome to come up with this meme. So I did that about 4 years ago. So this meme is on all of my social media posts, and I have all different sorts of colors of this hat, and I try to wear it. One of them face with a name. That's where I'm going with this, so they remember. And then I didn't want to send mailers out or door knock per se in my neighborhood, so I came up with this idea when my daughter was in fourth grade. This was 5 years ago. What am I good at? How can I give back to her school? Well, I wrestled. So I knew the principal there, and I said, hey, I would love to volunteer this year and help coach wrestling. And he's like, that would be great. We need someone like you to help. So I did that for 5 years at my daughter's school. In the first 2 years, I didn't tell anybody what I did unless they asked. I was not pushy. I didn't ask for addresses. I didn't cold call our kids. Their parents have to sign that has phone numbers on there and addresses, emergency slips. I did not do any of that. But sometimes they'd see me come to practice in a suit, blah, blah, blah. So about year 3, I started getting questions. What do you do? And then I shared that with them. So I started meeting the people that lived in not only my neighborhood, but around me, say in a mile or two of the school. So 4th, 5th, 6th grade, my daughter is done. I did one more year at Fugman. And then I was asked by head coach at Clovis North High School to help coach at the junior high. So now I'm following my daughter, giving back to her school. So I'm now at the junior high. This is my 6th year. And for 5 years, I volunteered. I got paid nothing. But I sold 7 houses. So do the math. So I made a lot more money than the head coach did. But I built relationships is where I'm going with that. And this year they approached me. They said, when you go to the junior high, it's a little more time consuming, but we're going to pay you. So I'm an employee of the city of Clovis Unified School District now too. So that's pretty neat, which allows me. Mike has been so generous, both Mike's and Sandra and Lena, to help. And I play golf too. So here's an opportunity for a fundraiser. We're going to have a Clovis North High School wrestling golf tournament, and we just finished our 2nd one, and our name was blasted everywhere. Is it a lot of work? Yes. Is it worth it? So off our first golf tournament, I sold 3 houses last year. Not directly from that. And it's not someone I met new. It's people that were upgrading in the market. But the cool thing is they had bought houses before and they had other agents. But they saw my determination and my willingness to help. So that was one thing in the listing appointment and the buyer's consultation, that my willingness to volunteer and asking for nothing and not pushing what I do on everybody out of the gate. They respected that. So getting involved was a huge thing.
Tell me a little bit about skin in the game, because I know that one thing I see about Ryan is that he pays for a lot of things.
Yeah.
He reaches in his pocket and he does pay. Every closing, every check that I see him receiving, I see some kind of nice gift that he's worked really hard on for his clients. And when we are always talking about buyers and sellers having skin in the game, I see that you have the skin in the game.
Right.
Tell me about that.
And what I mean by that is you have to invest back in your business. And well, I don't have any business. How do I invest back into it? Well, find a way. That's what I was told nearly 20 years ago. You find a way. If you want a nice pair of sneakers or a new blouse or purse, you're going to find a way to purchase that, right? It's the same thing with my business. I pay a social media person to do my social Instagram and Facebook. I have a transaction coordinator, Barbara Fleming. She's on this call. I cannot do nearly as much business if I didn't have her, and she's expensive. She's sitting right in front of me. So and she's worth every penny.
Yes.
Every penny.
But that frees you up
to
sell more real estate.
Absolutely.
Because you've figured out what things you're not that great at, and you pay people. And that's what when I say skin in the game,
Right.
I see you pay people to do the things you're not great at, and you concentrate on the things that you are great at.
Right. So that's an absolute critical part of your business. You have to invest back into it, even as much as like once you get in your business, own your business, and taxes is a huge thing. When we have a good year and you don't pay attention to your quarterlies or what you're paying out, keep track of all that stuff, because it is World War III at my house. If I don't have my books in order, and I'm glad my wife's not listening to this because she gets on me every year. So it's part of your business, putting back in your business, having the right CPA, saving that money for those tax bills that come. Mike, I know you know something about that. But putting money back in to your business is huge. It's an absolute must. It's an absolute must.
And Ryan, what about just because I know that we're going to be successful with our neighborhoods this year.
Right.
So when you guys have a chance to list in your neighborhood, because you're going to, these people that have showed up, I saw Paul today. He's already got his spirit going. He's chosen 80 homes he's going to target. I see people making action Lena's doing stuff. We're having action plan. When they get their first listing, how important is it to do quality pictures, video,
Oh,
like what, because
it's
that's
everything.
your shot in your neighborhood.
I'm gonna shift a little bit, and I'm gonna go into how I got my first listing in my neighborhood. How's that?
Do it.
Good.
Okay, so our second house in Copper River was built in 2021. And so it's a Gary McDonald, his salesperson, Brian Hurdle, I knew a little bit. So our house was one of the first houses being built. So when I saw pads being poured and they had addresses, I would go to him and he was nice enough. I said, Brian, how many people in here are contingent on selling their house now to purchase in here? Well, there was only 3. And I wrote letters to all 3 of those people. He gave me their names, so I found out where they lived. And I got 3 responses. And they all said, we're all working with an agent. And they told me why. We worked with Sally for 20 years. She sold our grandma's house, blah, 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 which is fine. Out of those 3, I got to know one couple very well. They moved in, and I sent them a handwritten note. Says, welcome home on it, Copper River Specialist, blah, blah, blah. And I sent this to him with a $10 Starbucks card. And I do this to everyone I meet in the Copper River area or surrounding areas that I think will buy or sell real estate in the next year or 2. They always get one of these, always. And so I got to know them. Their name was Craig and Jackie, very sweet people. It was the retirement home. After a year, my daughter Piper was feeding their turtles when they'd go out of town. I'd pull their trash cans out. We'd play golf with them. Just good people, you know. Then about a year ago, they asked me if I could come over for coffee. And I'm like, sure. They said, my dad has passed away, which I knew. I didn't know idea he was a property owner. So she goes, when you wrote us that note, we said to ourselves that when dad goes to his resting place, we're going to use Ryan to sell these properties. And Mike's familiar with one of them. So off that note, I got a listing on Goshen Avenue on 5 acres in Visalia. Their tenant bought it, and it closed last year. And then there was a piece across the street, 20 acres of multifamily, which I knew nothing about. Mike helped me with that tremendously. That is was on the market and is in escrow. It's a year-long escrow. And so that's 2 pieces of business I got off. One, making connection, and one sort of introduction postcard to the handwritten. And then go ahead.
Tell us like kind of what you might write in a handwritten note.
Oh, just that it was nice to meet you the other day at so-and-so, the other night.
I live in your neighborhood.
I live in your neighborhood. I sell real estate full time. I'm involved in the community. I know your kid goes to Clovis North, blah, 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 or plays sports, something like that. Something that they can relate to, something that touches them that can relate to. So where I'm going with this, so the Bruckners that lived across the street about a year ago said, we have change of plans. Fresno's not the town for us. Our kids live in Orange County. We're going to buy a house in Irvine, and you're going to list our house. Okay.
Nice.
So it's 1.3 million. So that was a ton of work. So I put a for sale sign in the front. Long story short, my old neighbor from my old neighborhood wanted to see it. That's just not for us, blah, 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 blah. So about a week later, a listing came up around the corner. It was not my listing. And the buyer's name was Scott, good friends of mine, and said, we would like to see the one on Penn High. Long story short, they bought that house, 1.2 million, and they paid cash. So about a week, and this is all true. This has all happened within 3 weeks. My neighbor across the street, who is a broker with Compass in the Bay Area, they lived in their house a very short time. He was a heart surgeon and he got transferred, but I kept in touch with her because we were in real estate. And when she had clients in Fresno, she would call me and I would go show them properties. I did it to her for 3 times. And she called me the first couple of weeks of October and said, hey, Ryan, our tenant has moved out. I don't want to be a landlord anymore. I want you to list our house. I'm like, well,
Nice.
why would you do that?
Because she was a broker.
Yeah. And she goes, I don't know Copper River. You know Copper River. You know our neighborhood. We haven't lived there in 3 years. And that one sold in 2 days. So Turf, Pinhigh, and Birdie Avenue all closed in a 2-week period. And that was off one postcard.
Hey, so Ryan, let me ask you a question along
Yeah.
those lines, because it brings up an interesting thought that a lot of agents have, and I've had in the past when I sold day to day. A lot of agents will say, well, look, everybody already knows an agent, right? Family, friend.
Right.
There could be other agents in that neighborhood, particularly a larger neighborhood like yours. So obviously you face that, and can you just give me an example of like whether it's mindset or action or both? How did you rise above that to establish yourself as the go-to for your neighborhood?
Well, and to go back, the one on Pinhigh, the buyers for that, he's a broker also. He could have wrote that off for himself and saved himself a lot of money.
I think what you did, I can speak for him because I talk with Ryan all the time. And I think what you did is something that some of us are not doing, including me. We're too afraid to send to the other agents that live in the neighborhood. But you actually, I ask you that, and you actually send your postcards to the other agents.
Of
You're not
course.
afraid.
No, and it's not offensive. And one thing, and this is something that is gone away the last few years in our industry, is treating other agents with respect. I'm not saying I have never and will not say anything bad about an agent that lives or does business in my neighborhood or Northeast Fresno where I live. You have no idea what other people's relationships are with other brokers or other agents. Even they could be a complete turd. It's very important that we treat others with respect. And so I don't really have the secret sauce to knowing your product is one. That's huge. And knowing the activity that's going on in your neighborhood is huge. And one thing I've put a tremendous amount of time is knowing the schools and the teachers and things like and sports at the schools and being very involved with that because parents with young children who play sports want to know what's going on. And another thing too, my daughter plays golf. So I volunteered coaching golf, and I'm not the best golfer, but I coached golf at her junior high for 2 years. That was about 4 hours a day, 3 months out of the year, 5 days a week. And it's hot. Did I get a lead from it? No, I didn't, but I will. And I met a lot of great people and got my name out there. And you betcha they knew what I did for a living at the end of at the end of her season a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I think Ryan, the moral of the story is, I think number one, mindset wise, is we have to get past the I'm not worthy and that
Right.
imposter syndrome of, well, there's better agents in my neighborhood. Look, if you're with Century 21, by virtue of that, I don't care if you're a brand new agent in the first month. If you're with this company, I guarantee you, unless there's another Century 21 Jordan Link agent in your neighborhood, that other agent cannot outmarket or outserve those clients.
No.
So it's then knowing that you have the ammunition to be the best and you're already the best, to go out and be public facing like you have and be in front of everybody, including other agents and brokers in the area, and saying, hey, I'm here to serve. And I know this area. I live, I work, I play, I'm involved. I'm involved with your kids,
Right.
coaching. You've established yourself as the resident expert of all things real estate, and then just then kind of your shield and armor going out is and also I'm a Century 21 Jordan Link FH&E agent, which your neighborhood is Fine Homes and Estates. I don't.
Right.
There's probably no. I mean, are there any other luxury agents really marketing in Copper River?
There's a few.
Okay. Would you say
But
they're as
not
dialed in as you are?
no,
No.
not even close.
Right.
And they don't live there either.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to
So
own our neighborhoods if we live there.
yeah. And Yeah, well said, Mike. You hit the nail on the head there. One thing I wanted to go in as far as getting involved in your neighborhood, about 6 years ago, I started, and every agent does this, doing a pie giveaway at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I wanted to set myself apart. So what I did is I wrote down about 40 names of past clients and people who I thought would buy or sell probably the next year or two. And I hand deliver them. Oh, what a mistake that was. Talk about work. It was the extra touch. It takes me about 3 days from sun up to sundown. And I don't know if you can see this. I designed a new postcard um, this year. It says, grateful for amazing clients and friends like you. Then at the bottom says, looking forward to, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, call me. And it has my information and my meme again. And I put this on top of the pie with a bow on it and I hand deliver them. And I can't tell you the responses I get from that, how much people, and a lot of them I do the day before Thanksgiving. And I do pumpkin because they last longer. Any cream pie or apple, I learned that the hard way, does not last. Um, and I don't give them just to past clients. I also give them to friends and family
And neighbors.
and neighbors.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
so, and then going back to again, invest in your business. People are going to ask me how much that costs. 100 of these cards will cost about $90. The pies, depends how many I do. I budget for about $500. But my November pie giveaway has gotten so big. I have such a big SOI on it. I split it up now. I do Christmas also. And some people I'll do both. But I'll probably do 30 to 40 at Thanksgiving and do 40 to 50 at Christmas. And it's worked out really well. Again, it's a lot of work, but people really enjoy it. And
I get one every year.
yeah, but I don't take it to your house.
Well, you take it to my office.
So Ryan, when you're showing up delivering a pie at somebody's door around the holidays, do you feel that you're annoying your neighbors by doing that?
No, because I do it early in the morning when it's dark.
Okay. So you put it on their doorstep.
I put it on their doorstep because
Gotcha.
Mike, it'd take me a month. Because if I had to talk to every person, the
talk to
majority of
them,
my clients are my friends too. Oh, they come in, have a beer or whatever. I couldn't do it.
It'd be forever.
But you
Yeah.
text them.
I leave my car running. I set the pie. Everyone has Ring doorbells or cameras now, and I'll text them, "Hey, left you a little something. Happy Thanksgiving."
That's awesome.
And I move on. I do get caught. Hey, come back. We want to talk to you. That does happen. And especially some of my wrestling buddies, it's a 2 or 3 hour meeting. It happens to be my buddy in Madera. I see him twice a year and it's could be disastrous.
Yeah.
Sit there and talk about college days and stuff, but it's fun. And even my daughter Piper gets involved now. She enjoys, but she always wants to go to the houses where my friends have kids her age. And oh, Dad, can I stay? So I try to make it fun and help, but it definitely has become a tradition, and it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And I never once have, and I've had a few people that list with someone else and they get a pie, and they'll get a pie again because you never know.
Never know.
Can you show us your postcard that has been very successful where you give your neighbors an offer?
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you
So
about that?
I did this one about 2 years ago. Long story short, it's you list or buy a home with me in the Copper River area, you get $1,000 Visa gift card. And then on the back, this was 2 years ago. So I gave examples of the houses I had sold in their neighborhood. I sent about 500 out. I'll be honest with you, the response was not what I thought it would be. It was not. So I've had 3 people claim these the last year. And I sent these to people and they weren't in my area either, that were thinking about selling. These were all listings. They were thinking about selling. I did a little homework on them. They used another agent when they bought. In previous houses, they used another listing agent. So immediately they got a handwritten note, Starbucks gift card, and this sent to their house.
But you told me a story about someone pulling it out several months later, like you had
Yeah,
almost
several
forgotten.
months later. Yeah, I had forgotten about it. Yeah. Several months later and did call me. So yes, it converted about four sales. Um, uh,
But it wasn't right away.
it
So
was
you
not right away. It was not right away. No, it was not right away. I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to do it in my direct neighborhood, which there's about 100 houses. It's gated, and I'm going to do the three that I've sold last month in there. It goes in a nice envelope with a bow, with a Starbucks gift card, a little resume about myself and our neighborhood, what's going on with that, short and sweet. And I'm going to deliver them to them personally. I'm not going to put it in the mail. I'm going to, right around the holidays when everyone's home, I'm going to put it right on their door with a bow on it. Lucy's working on that for me right now. Because there's no reason why we shouldn't sell all the houses in our neighborhood. I mean, we live there. We can watch the house. We
can
know
watch the turtles.
they watch the turtles. Yes. So there's no reason why we shouldn't, especially in a boutique neighborhood like Copper River has 4 or 5 of them. That if you live there, there's no reason people in your neighborhood shouldn't know what you do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and it's embarrassing if we're a secret neighborhood, living incognito there and nobody knows. And I think what everything you've said, Ryan, you're leading towards the fact that there's a reason they call it farming. We're farming a neighborhood because what we're doing is initially there's no harvest, there's no crop. We're planting a lot of seeds, and
Right.
and it's the consistency of and the frequency of planting, and then nurturing, cultivating those seeds to make sure they grow, and then ultimately reap a harvest. So it's all about consistency. And the biggest mistake
Right.
agents make with farming is they'll do one mail out and get no response and then give up. What you didn't do
Big.
when you started, you never gave up. You kept going, you
No.
kept analyzing, fine tuning what you're doing, making it more personalized rather than generic. And then you started seeing the results and the harvest come in, right?
And it didn't happen overnight, but I was consistent and I'm always reinventing myself, giving back to the community where I live. I mean, it is very time consuming and sometimes can be expensive, but if you stick with it, it will pay off. I promise you that. And get involved in your community. Um, Another thing too, what I did, and this doesn't have to do much with selling houses in your neighborhood or your area where you live, but I'm a member of the MLS. I run the MLS meeting on Tuesdays. I've learned so much there, and I've built relationship with agents that I've never met in person. So getting involved is huge, and letting people know what you do. Again, I people like for example, when let's say your car insurance lapse or your home insurance, you need new insurance. Do you guys have an insurance person in your phone? I don't. We're going to look to the last person that sent me a note or called me about insurance, right? Same thing with real estate. People have to remember what you do. And by them getting a pie once a year or twice a year or a card, they're going to remember what you do. It's not hard to do, guys. It's time consuming. That's about it.
Yeah,
Right.
that's good.
Um, we talked about skin in the game because I do see that you pay for a lot of things and you do things. You're always, I always see you. What do you do with all those Blackstone grills that you have all the
Oh,
time?
well, that's another thing.
A Blackstone grill, and I'm like,
Well,
what do you do with those?
well, yeah, I forgot about that. So for one of our T prizes for the Clovis North golf tournament, Lena donated for Fine Home and Estates, and Mike gave a generous donation as well and bought a foursome. I bought 4 Blackstone grills. I found they were on sale and they were about $1,000. But guess what, guys? My for sale sign sat next to those Blackstone grills on a golf course where about 200 people saw them and took pictures of it. So again, investing into your business. Um,
Can you show us your closing gifts?
oh yeah. Um, this guy, Eric, a lot of you know Eric from Cutco? The guy started doing these about when I started in real estate. This guy's freaking awesome. I didn't buy one thing for him for 15 years. I always got a pack of candy. He always would say hello to me. He knew my name. He knew my Instagram, Facebook posts. Hey, you sold that house out there. That was a cool house. I'm like, I got to buy something from this guy. He goes, I just want to talk to you. So he was persistent. So he came in and talked to me. So I give every closing gift. Now, I don't give these every time. Sometimes if there's a need for like a home warranty, I'll do that instead of this. But again, putting money back in your business, this costs about $2,000 a year. Um, it has a nice butter knife and a souffle knife, I believe. And it says your favorite realtor, Ryan Johnson, with my phone number on it. And they're silver, they're really pretty.
They last forever.
They last forever and a lifetime warranty. So Cutco gifts, I thought they were cheesy when I was younger, but people really like them and they remember you and they appreciate it. Great question.
Awesome.
One thing, I heard this last night and it just kept me up late last night thinking about it. Dana White, who owns the UFC, billionaire, but Dana White didn't have a dollar to his name in like 1998, but he knew boxing, right? And this new underground thing called Ultimate Fighting Championships, and he knew how to promote it, but he didn't have any money. So he went to these two brothers in Las Vegas who owned a casino named the Fachita Brothers, and he pitched this to them, right? And now I think UFC sold to ESPN or Disneyland, one of them, for $5.8 billion. And he started with absolutely nothing. But in business, he said, it's about doing, it's not about doing what you love, which is real easy for us to do, right? Real easy for us to do. It's about doing whatever it takes. So it's not doing about what you love because our business can be fun, right? We can do a lot of fun stuff and crap doesn't get done, right? It's doing the stuff that no one else wants to do or very few do it. Investing back in your business, reinventing yourself yearly, quarterly. Lena's really good at her social media, and it's new, it's fresh. Example, our golf tournament, there's 4 teachers that from Clovis North that don't have a lot of extra money. 2 of them were my daughter's teachers. And you know what? Something cool I'm going to do. I bought them a foursome, invited it, and my daughter's golf coach to play in our tournament, right? And my daughter's golf coach, and I know she has 3 kids and she doesn't live in the Clovis North district. I know where she lives, and she'll get a pie this year. She goes, you didn't have to do that, Ryan. That was so nice of you. And I said, but you know what? You guys are going to outgrow your house and you're going to sell your house one day. And I'd love to help you. And she goes, you bet you are. So with little stuff like that, the learning director at Clovis North, she is a stud. She got Piper changed out of this class that she was having problems in. So you know what? I ordered a woman's size t-shirt and Jimmy rigged it a little bit and put a pink Clovis North on it because I see her work out at the gym and she always wears pink. And I mailed it to her with a thank you card in it saying thank you. But guys, she's retiring in 2 years and she's moving to Colorado. And she lives in a big, beautiful home in Copper River. So that might be a lead there. Like Mike said, I planted the seed, but you have to keep watering them. And it might not come to anything for 2-3 years or just little stuff like that no one taught me how to do. I just think of them.
So one thing I could say, I'd love to dissect all of you, as you guys know, your businesses, and it amazes me. All of you guys are unique, agents are unique, and we get to choose how we find our business. And I always find that very interesting. Always interested in how people find their business and how we work. We all work different. But one thing I can say that I think has made you successful, and it's it's very obvious to me. You know everything that comes on the market, not just your neighborhood,
Oh, yeah.
but you know everything.
Yeah.
You'll come in, I'll say, oh, so-and-so has it. Oh, yeah, I saw that listing. Oh, I know that. You must be on the MLS. How much time do you spend on?
Probably 2 hours a day. And when I started, guys, that's what my manager told me to do. I had nothing else to do. He goes, memorize the MLS then. So I came in and looked at the MLS for 2 or 3 hours a day and at night on the weekends. And I would know neighborhoods. And sometimes I don't know a neighborhood because Fresno's growing so much. There's been so much new construction and
But you've also, you know, the agents,
oh, yeah.
you know which agents are getting in the neighborhoods because you're always watching. And
Yeah, you
I know
have to
you
know
do.
what your competition is, 100%, and what they're doing to get these listings. There's only a few that I haven't cracked the code. You probably know who they are, but they're very, very hard to figure out. And like this doctor listed this house, $6 million, and I kind of know him. I think he knows who I am. And this person got the listing. I'm like, how in the heck did they get that listing? For one, I didn't even try, right? And that one thing, guys, too, if it's people are all the same, they live and breathe just like all of us. So if they're selling a $6 million house or a $60,000 house, the transaction's the same. Trust me, it's the same. So don't be afraid of a big number because it's not that big a deal.
Right.
Not that big a deal.
Yeah, you're not an imposter. So as we wrap up this interview, guys, it's been great, Ryan. Amazing stuff. I would make a statement that for an agent that's sitting there or was sitting there thinking, look, I've tried farming before, it doesn't work, or it didn't work, or I don't think my neighborhood's going to respond to any of this. I think the proof is in the pudding based on what you've done. You definitively prove that thought process wrong, and they just, they may not, they don't need to necessarily spend the budget you spend because you're dealing with higher price point properties, but they need to make an investment suitable for their neighborhood and be absolutely consistent about it to where your neighbors are hearing from you, 6, 7, 8 times a year, and they're at least seeing your face, a couple times a year in some capacity. So I would just kind of wrap it up and sum it up with that statement. And guys, give it a shot. You don't know until you try.
Can I add to that, Mike, real quick?
Yes,
absolutely. The importance of like having your sign in a neighborhood. So the house on Birdie, I coached this kid at Fugman. His parents were very much so a handful, blah, blah, blah. This was 3 years ago. So I get a sign call from one of my listings, and because my sign was there and says, we want to see this house on ABC Street today at 4 o'clock. We saw your sign. We didn't know you sold real estate. Can you show it to us? So I dig in a little bit more. It's this doctor that I knew. So I showed him on a Saturday. I showered, shaved, I put a suit on, and it was about 103 that day. And the house didn't work out for them. Immediately sent them a thank you card. It was nice to get together to the outside of the wrestling world. They will get a pie this year. My moral of the story is a good friend of mine in Klein is an anesthesiologist, and they had a surgery together last week. And my anesthesiologist friend said, hey, Dr. Kilmorgan had nothing but nice things to say of how professional and knowledgeable were of your neighborhood. So showing up when asked, it's not fun sometimes when it's hot out and you're watching the football game and you're not on your phone and running around to hop in the shower, throw a suit on and go show a house for 20 minutes, right? But that's what I mean, doing the hard stuff that a lot of people won't do.
Yeah, monotonous, repetitious boredom is the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that makes people successful, right? It's not all the glitz and glamour of, closing the deal on social media, just closed, it's what went into getting to that point. So perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one else needs to know what went into it. So be real careful with social media.
No, that's the foundation of the iceberg, right? We don't need to show what's below the surface of the water. We know what it is, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. So
all right, well,
use your best.
Ryan. Man, congratulations on your success. Thank you, Sandra. We've got about 8 minutes left. I'm going to see if I can sum it up in 8 minutes because I do want to give you guys a market outlook for 2026. So we'll zoom back out and talk about what I think is going on with the market. And really, there's great opportunity ahead of us, guys. I know. I mean, I don't want to sound Pollyannic. Most of you know I'm a factual, analytical guy. I don't just speak in generalities. I speak with facts. And I believe 2026 is shaping up to be a year of renewed opportunity for us. There's definitive shifts in the market and the landscape. Good news is, as of last night, the government has finally opened back up. 43-day shutdown. These bozos over in Washington. I mean, I say that with love, but it's like finally we wake up and get the government running. So I think the collateral damage was minimal on the real estate market, which is good. There was some road bumps, speed bumps, but it didn't really derail us back into a frozen market situation like rates have done historically over the last couple of years. But the big one is interest rates are still improving, and it's being led by just a much healthier 10-year bond market with that yield rate staying down in the low fours. It went back down again. I think I saw last night it had a little spike up there when the 50-year mortgage product was announced, but then it went back down yesterday. And the Feds are finally cooperating with rate reduction on the funds rate. And buyer activity by virtue of all that's increasing. And the good news is with all this, pent up demand that accumulated during the first half of the year, we're seeing that releasing now. Buyers are still pretty active even in November. We're not seeing the seasonal drop off that we normally have. Normally about this time, we would see a pretty significant drop off. As a company, we are not seeing that. And the good news is we have more inventory to sell than we did this time last year. And really, in the potential introduction of the 50-year mortgage product, and Trump put out an announcement. The chairman or director of the FHFA, Pulte, confirmed this past week that it could be a viable deal that they may be implementing. And there's a lot of people on each side of the fence. I think most of the articles and commentary I've read about it has been highly negative. And I think we can't look at it that way, guys. It enables people to get into homes that maybe they couldn't have. And it's not meant to be just like any loan. Every loan can be refinanced, right? So a 50-year product, I see it as a bridge loan to get into a home. And as the economic conditions improve, of course, they're going to refi and tighter amortization and get a better rate, or not. Maybe they just stay in the house 7 years and move to another one and trade in their equity. I don't think there's a losing scenario on it. So I know the Dave Ramsey's of the world are having a coronary, but the reality is, guys, when we're sitting in a state with a housing affordability index of 18% and even worse, 30% in our neck of the woods, which we're in 4 of the most affordable counties in California, and only 1/3 of the population can afford a median priced home. I think a 50-year product is going to really bolster affordability quite a bit. And again, it's an introductory deal. I mean, nobody's going to sit in a home for 50 years paying that much interest in their right mind. I just don't see it. Give people a little bit of credit that this is an ease of entry product. It's not meant to be a permanent solution. So I see nothing but positive, guys. So let's keep that narrative going out there when people start asking you as the subject matter expert on all things real estate that it's only good, and particularly for California. So means buyers can get in, means more sellers have confidence to make their moves potentially, and your pipeline is going to fill up dramatically. So so basically, I think we're entering into a market that really rewards preparation. It really rewards preparation. You guys that have gone through this series have prepared for 4 different days to start the year strong. And those agents that chose not to show up or put together a plan, and most won't put together a 2026 plan. They're just going to sit and wait for business. And they're going to struggle still, even into 2026. But the agents that are building systems, they're showing up consistently, doing that monotonous, repetitious boredom stuff. they're going to dominate their markets locally. They're going to gain share, and they're going to continue to grow. And that's you, Century 21 agents out there. And that's really what I feel this boot camp series has prepared us for. So basically, I mean, putting the puzzle pieces together. I mean, day one, you know, we gave you your business plan. Day two, we gave you the neighborhood, you know, what it's about. And day three, we gave you the marketing system. And today we're basically kind of tying it all together and just letting you know you now have the tailwinds to make it all happen. So it's about planning, it's about owning, it's about executing, it's about growing, guys. And really that's the formula. Planning, owning, executing, growing, and that's the formula going into 2026. And your job now is just to be consistent, is just to demonstrate consistency. As Jared James says, consistency is undefeated. And if we're consistent, you know, we will not be beat. So here's my challenge to you walking away today is just pick one action from the last 4 days that we've met on this that you can execute, or you're going to commit to execute in the next 7 days, whether it's a mailing, you know, whether it's a digital, virtual, mailing, door knocking. Pick one action from all of this that you're willing to execute in over the next 7 days. And I want you to tell somebody, tell an accountability partner, tell your husband, wife, significant other, tell your manager. Sandra would love to hear that. You know, she would love to hear that, and then hear about the results. If you have a real estate coach, tell your coach, and just put some accountability on it. And then just walk away today just being more energized about knowing what you're going to do now and what your end goal is. And again, I think the agents that are taking this seriously are going to take market share. So I'm giving you one of my quotes. Feel free to use it. You know, I basically, when the market tide shifts, and it is shifting, guys, those that have built the best ships will sail the furthest and reach their destination. So right now, this has again been about shipbuilding. So, you know, let's own our neighborhoods in 2026. Let's execute our plans, and let's have a great 2026 together as a team. And that's all I have. I want to thank you guys all for attending, and let's get going and get to work.
All right.
Yay.
Really, guys.
Man,
Good job.
we're gonna all get going, huh?
I'm ready.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
Very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank
All right. Think we're wrapped up, Sandra? Out?
Yes, I think we are. Yep. And I've already seen a lot of my agents take action. They're getting their neighborhoods together. Yeah, it's exciting. So I think we're gonna do good this year. Yep.
Great job, Brian.
Thank you.
Loved it.
Yes. Thank you, Mike.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.